Okay, so welcome to our third class here in Bet Mordechai. Tonight we're going to speak about Tu Bishvat, which is Sunday night. So it's coming up very fast on the 1st of February, B'ezrat Hashem. Tu Bishvat, that stands for the 15th of the month of Shvat. So it's really in the middle of the month of Shvat. And we're going to speak about that in a little bit. But first, I want to dedicate this class, les Refoua Shelema, David Meir Ben Fortuné and
Yael Bat Malka.
Yael Bat Malka.
Liora Bat Malka.
Liora Bat Malka, B'ezrat Hashem. We should hear only good news. For all our friends who are sick with strep and whatever it is, B'ezrat Hashem, they should feel much better very soon, B'ezrat Hashem. And Refoua Shelema Bekarov for Eliyahu Chaim Hanavi ben Tita Esther, Yitzhak ben Esther Sarah, Adel Miriam bat Michal Aliyah, and hello, so nice to see you. How are you? Come. You sure? You're good? Okay. I'm going to sit. Sorry, I'm going to turn. And voila, for the dedication. B'ezrat Hashem, Leilui Nishmat also, the grandfather of our dear friend Deborah Saada, Yosef ben Miriam, Zichrono Livracha. Okay? So, tonight we're going to speak about Tu Bishvat, but before that we're going to read a Tehillim. אשרי האיש אשר לא עלה בעצת רשעים, ובדרך חטאים לא עמד, ובמושב לצים לא ישב, כי אם בתורת אדוני חפצו ובתורתו יהגה יומם ולילה. והיה כעת שתול על פלגי מים, אשר פריו ייתן בריתו ורעלהו לא ייבול, וכל אשר יעשה יצליח. לא כן הרשעים, כי אם כמוץ אשר תדפנו רוח, על כן לא יקומו רשעים במשפט, וחטאים בעדת צדיקים, כי יודע אדוני דרך צדיקים, ודרך רשעים תאבד. Today, during the day, and yesterday night, was a very special day. It was Yud Shvat, so the 10th of the month of Shvat. And why was it so special, and why am I going to speak about it? Because here in this beautiful Bet HaKnesset of Bet Mordechai, it's also a Bet Chabad, or at least the Rav is Chabad. So it's not a Bet Chabad, but the Rav is Chabad. So you're very, very close to the Rebbe. Okay, and today we celebrate on Yud Shvat the passing from the leadership of Chabad from the previous Rebbe Milubavitch, who passed away, and 1 year after, his son-in-law, the Rebbe Menachem Mendel Schneerson, that we knew until 1994, took over the leadership of Chabad. So it's a very, very special day today. It's a day of leadership where a lot of things are possible, and in the calendar, in the Chabad calendar, it's really like a very special celebration. So I just wanted to mention that. There we go. And so now we're going to be on Tu Bishvat. And so Tu Bishvat, what is Tu Bishvat according to you? What do you know about Tu Bishvat? The fruits. We celebrate. Okay, it's Rosh Hashanah. Lainot. Okay. So it's the New Year's of the tree. Okay. The renewal of the tree. Okay. The New Year's of the tree, the renewal of the tree. And we celebrate by eating fruits, as you said, Alex, right? So it's very surprising because if it's the New Year's of the tree, if I had to pick a date for that, I personally would have picked anywhere in spring, right? Where it seems that the trees are really alive, they are blooming, they are rebirthing, something is happening. Usually in winter, well, Miami is not a good example, but if you go to anywhere else but Miami, what is winter like? Is there a lot of leaves on the trees? Is there a lot of fruits on the trees? No. Usually in winter, the nature goes to sleep. Usually in winter, it looks like the trees only have a trunk and branches, but there's no leaves on the tree. There's no fruits. There's nothing on the trees. So it's a very surprising and paradoxical moment to celebrate the new years of the trees, right? I would say it's the moment where trees and nature seems the most lifeless. There seems to be death. When you see a tree with no leaves, it could be dead. You have no idea, right? But Chazal, our sages, teach us something beautiful. It's true. From the outside, it seems like there's no life. But guess what? On Bishvat, on the 15th of the month of Shevat, what is happening inside of the tree? The sap, la sève, the sap, for the first time, is going up inside of the trees. It is the first time that the sap is going up. And what is the sap? The sap is like the blood of a tree. It's the life force, the living energy of the tree is moving up. It was asleep since autumn. It started shedding leaves. How do you say? Losing leaves? Falling leaves, right? But at one point, it seemed like dead, and it was asleep. And we know that sleep is 1/60th of death. So it was in a form of death. But now something is happening, not from the outside, from the inside. There is a movement of life coming up that nobody can see. Only the tree can see it because it's from the inside. Okay? And that's a beautiful first lesson of Tu Bishvat. It's not from what we see from the inside, from the outside, is not always what is reflected really. In reality, it's not, life doesn't start when everything is visible. When something becomes visible, it actually started way before. So let's think about the life of a tree. Can someone help me think about how does a tree comes alive? Hello and welcome. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Sorry. Comment tu vas? Ça va et toi? I think if you want, you can sit over there or over there as you wish. Okay. So, what is the life cycle of a tree? So first, usually, when you want to plant a tree, what do? You put a seed inside of the dirt, right? And then you cover it up, and then you water it, and then you wait, and then there's a little stem, shoot that emerges, right? And it grows into a sapling, and from that sapling starts a tree, and from this trunk starts branches, ramifications, leaves, and then flowers, and then fruits, right? That's how it works. So at first, there is a seed. At the origin of everything, there is a seed. I want to speak to you about a beautiful thing. You know, have any of you ever been to Yosemite Park? You have been? Yes, Angie, you've been? Okay, you've been to Yosemite Park. What did you witness in Yosemite Park?
The colors.
The colors. Okay.
The geyser?
The what?
Geyser.
The geyser. Okay. I'm going to say the bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol nהיה bidvaro. What about the height? The height of the trees in Yosemite Park. Yosemite Park is very well known. Yosemite Park is very well known for its sequoias, right? What about those sequoias? You're okay with that
Sorry.
weather? Right? Okay. So some of the sequoias in Yosemite parks are 3,000 years old. Can you believe? 3,000 years old. Listen to this. It means that when the Ivrim were getting out of Egypt, when the Hebrews were getting out of Egypt, somewhere in California, a seed was planted. A seed was planted. That seed gave birth to a shoot that transformed into a sapling, that transformed into a tree, that grew and grew, lost its leaves every fall, slept into winter. The sap came up, gave growth, life force to grow. And again, it grew, became alive to sleep again through the winter, and this for 3,000 years. 3,000 years. Isn't that crazy? And what is even crazier is that all these informations, all those fruits, all those leaves, all these molecules of wood that the trunk developed and created were contained into that original seed. That seed contained the information of 3,000 years of life of that tree. It's crazy. We're excited about the technology of an iPhone, but look what Hashem created. It's amazing. A seed contains all the potential of that huge sequoia tree that is, I don't know how many feet high. Okay? And this is the same with any seed. So it's a potential. A seed is a potential. And the Torah teaches us a beautiful thing. It teaches us that ki ha'adam etz hasadeh, that Adam, human being, is an etz hasadeh, is in a tree of the field. Meaning that there is a relation between the way we grow and the way a tree grows. And there will be parables between what we consider important for the trees in the Torah and what is important for a man in the Torah. And what is true for a tree is also true for a man. We also come from a seed. Actually, in Hebrew, the original drop from which we come is called a zera, a seed. A zera means a descendants, children, but also a seed, right? And what is beautiful is that within, hello and welcome. How are you? So nice to see you. It's been such a long time. Of course. Come. You have a chair here if you prefer. Welcome to Bet Mordechai. We'll discuss this beautiful Keilah right after. So it's beautiful to know that we are also, we come from a seed. We come with a plan. We come with a project. We come with a potential in this world, just like a tree. And at birth, and even before birth, we have a program. We come in this world with a program. And this program can develop into a real life or not. You want to sit here? Of course. You know what? If you want, you can even take my spot because
No,
but I'm fine to... I don't need.
I'm gonna sit here.
You sure?
Okay.
Okay, no, because I'm fine standing also. You want to sit next to your mom?
No, it's okay.
You sure? No, 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 I'm good at standing. It's fine. Okay, so so that tree has a potential, and so do we. When we arrive in this world, we come with a potential. Okay? That potential is called a tafkid, a mission. We come with a mission, and that mission is unique. The same way you will never have in the nature, in a lab it's different. You could have two exact similar trees, maybe, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. But in nature, you will never find two exact trees or two exact fruits. There's always a difference, right? The same with us. Even twins who look identical will never have the same potential. There will always be a difference, and they don't come in this world with the same mission. We come with a potential, and this potential is here to accomplish Hashem's will. Last month, when we met together, I think we spoke about the cycle of a neshama, the journey of a neshama in this world, right? Yes. We spoke about it a little bit. We explained how a neshama is actually a part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? And we also spoke about the idea, and I think you know because you came to several other classes that you're probably familiar with that. So we said the neshama, the soul of a human being, is a part of Hashem. And how does it come alive? It is planted. It's not planted in dirt, mamash, but almost, because the body of Adam, Arishon, the first human being, was made out of dirt. So our neshama is just like that potential seed that is planted, that is incarnated, that is embodied. Hello, welcome. No, thank you for coming. I think you still have a spot over there, or you can sit over there, wherever it is. And so it is implanted, it is incarnated inside of the dirt, which means like inside of a physicality that is the body. Why? Because the neshama needs that body in order to act in this world. Okay? In order to accomplish its mission, it needs a physical vehicle. It cannot act as an immaterial soul. It needs to be physically present. And we saw that last month when we were together in celebrating the yard site of the sister of Vered, right? So in order for us to activate the potential of our seed, which is the neshama, we have to come into this body, right? And the thing is that the same way, you know, some trees grow, and you will see some trees, even here on this island, they don't always go straight. Some trees grow crooked. Some trees grow horizontal, which is beautiful on a postcard. You'll see like a coconut tree horizontal, and you can take a picture on it laying down on it. But it's not supposed to be horizontal. The environment or something disturbed its growth, and it ended up being crooked, right? But it was supposed to grow straight. So it happens in our life that we don't reach our potential also. We have a mission, and because we enter a body, and that body has physical needs that are survival needs, right? And survival needs are not just to eat and drink and sleep and exercise, not only that. What are the other survival needs? To be loved, to feel that we exist in the eye of someone, the need for recognition, sometimes egoistic needs also, the ego. I need to exist. For some people, it will be more important. For others, like they are more humble and they feel like I don't need to be seen. I want to be transparent. But we have physical needs, which are all the range of our emotions also, right? So there are physical needs that will push our body to lean into a certain direction. right? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling us, listen, when a tree has a program to grow vertically, and it grows crooked because of the environment, because of whatever survival needs it has, right? What do we do in order to make it go straight? We put a stake. What is a stake? Un tuteur en français. It's a piece of wood that we attach to the plant that will help it grow in the right direction, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu also gave us those stakes. Who are they? They are our parents. They are our kids. They are our husbands, our teachers, our rabbanim, our friends. Sometimes our limitations. Sometimes challenges that happen and push us to grow in a direction which we didn't really want to grow. And you know what is very surprising is that it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable to grow. Why? Because we tend to like to be in the same place. It's uncomfortable to be forced to take that potential out of yourself. We're going to take an example. Okay. We're going to take an example of a little girl, right? A baby who is born. Let's name her Naomi, okay? You have Naomi.
Me too.
Oh yeah, it's true. Okay. Imagine Naomi. Naomi, she has a potential. She can become a big tzaddiket. But really, like, she has like a potential to become a woman who will impact positively hundreds of other women, right? But she is born as a baby, and what of her first her first needs is to be fed, to sleep and to be fed, and to sleep and to be fed. Everything is around her own needs. Is she far away from where she should be? For the moment, yes. But she's just a little baby. So she has plenty of time to grow into her potential self. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is bringing her parents, right? And that little Naomi, when she is 2 years old, the only thing she likes to say is,
No.
no, right? No, and it's mine. No, it's mine, right? So it's cute when it's my mommy. It's cute. But the truth is that many things are just centered over her own ego, her own self. Because for the moment, she's not aware that she's inside of a community, that she can be aware of the needs of others. For the moment, she's just listening to her own needs. And it's okay, it's normal. That's what it is, right? We all go through that phase. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to tell that little girl, not by saying words, but okay, we're going to help you grow. Right now, you're just centered over yourself, but you're going to learn to be sensitive to others. How? We're going to make Papa and Mama, Ima and Abba, Daddy and Mommy, get a new baby. Imagine having to share the love of your mommy, the love of your daddy with another being. It's very difficult for a little baby, right? So at 2 years old, she learns to share, but it's uncomfortable. But that's part of the program. She needs to train into that beautiful potential tzadeket, that she's gonna be one day, right? But it's painful. And she cries. I don't know, recently, like a friend of mine sent me a video of a little girl who is at the hospital, and she's desperate because her mom gave birth to twins. And she said, why? Already one was terrible. Two? Why did you get two? Right? Now she has to share her love for her parents with two kids. So that's very difficult. Now she's gonna learn also, a lot of her friends are excited to have a brother or a sister because they can play with the brother and the sisters. But the truth is that when you have a baby, you can't play with that baby. So it's very boring to have a baby. You want the mommy to go back to the supermarket and give back the baby to the supermarket where she bought it, right? So she has to learn patience. Patience. Why? Because she's going to have to wait until the baby is 6 months, 9 months, and interested in her, trying to get the attention of that Naomi, right? And then slowly, they're going to bond, and she's going to learn to share. She's going to learn to give. She's going to learn to love. But it comes from a place of suffering. It comes from a place of restriction. It comes from a place of pain. Then she grows up and she gets married. And she gets married. Many people think that you have to get married with someone that looks like you. But the truth is that no, marriage is about complementing each other. Completing each other? Complementing each other. We have to become one, as we saw sometimes in the classes, which means that 2 minus or 2 plus don't match. You have to have a plus and a minus to complete each other, right? So, of course, it doesn't come naturally again. And what happens is that the first year, she's very extroverted. It's very easy for her to go outwards, and she's very social. She's a social butterfly. She loves to hang out with people. And who did she get married with? Someone who's very introverted. Someone who is very shy. He likes to be home. He doesn't like to be in society. He likes to be with his family, but not meet a lot of people. And she feels so limited. What do you mean? Like, I can't breathe at home. Like, I need to be out. I need to see my friends. I need to do things, right? And friction starts happening again. Same thing. The husband is the best steak, meaning the best way to reveal the potential inside of the tree. Why? Because Hashem gave you that potential, and the husband is there, and because he's not exactly like you, because you're not exactly like him, you're gonna make him work on himself from his own will, and you're gonna work on yourself from your own will to make it work, to have shalom, to find that shlemut, that wholeness, right? And so you're gonna work on patience. You're going to work on opening yourself. You're going to work on keeping silence sometimes, quieting your inner voice sometimes, right? There are some frustrations, there are some misunderstandings, but that's how it goes. And then you have the friends, right? You have a lot of different people in life. And also challenges in life, adversity, what we call in Hebrew, nisyonot. Challenges, adversity, moments where you feel that you can't realize what you thought you wanted to realize, where you can't achieve, where you can't succeed at the college you wanted to go to, you didn't get accepted, you didn't get that job. You got married, but you didn't you didn't get pregnant right away. And you have to work on yourself. And all this environment And all those people that HaKadosh Baruch Hu placed in front of you are actually people who help you shape yourself. Because when we are born, even though we are a seed, the seed has nothing to do with the shape. The shape of the seed has nothing to do with the shape of the tree. You have to become the tree. You have to let your potential grow, but it requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of effort, right? What is beautiful is that sometimes we think, okay, you know what? I didn't sign up for this husband. I didn't sign up for this challenge. I didn't sign up for not being able to have kids. I didn't sign up for that disease. I didn't sign up for sending my kids to Israel. I didn't sign up for that war. I didn't sign up for all those problems. And you know what? You did sign up for those problems. There is one thing that we don't know. The soul, the neshama, before being planted into that dirt, into that soil, into that body, before entering this world of asiya, of action, this soul was proposed a mission. Your mission is to fix so and so. This is your mission. You can choose by which way you're going to achieve your mission. Do you want to be born in Paris in 1977 in a family that was not religious, and you're going to have to go through a lot of challenges and grow into this person and marry this person and and go with that challenge in order to fix and to accomplish your mission? Or would you rather go into this other option? And you choose. And you choose. But right before you come into this world, a malach comes and makes you forget. You know that little sign that we have here? It's a malach that said, before you come in, going to make you forget about your mission. You enter this world and you don't remember. You don't remember your potential. You don't remember who you truly are. You don't remember what are your forces, because that's part of the game. Inside of this mission, you also have to discover yourself, to look for yourself, to know who you truly are, and to experience, to learn, to be curious. And so we are born. And when I think about the fact that we accepted this mission, it gives me a lot of strength, but it's also very, very scary. I was thinking last week we had not even last week, it was Monday. We had the zechut to witness the redemption of the body of Ran, right? The last hostage. His body was finally sent back to Israel, and he was able to be buried. And when you think about it, even those who went through the worst situation, our hostages, when you think about it, they chose at one point, as a soul, to go through this journey. It's crazy, but they chose. Because yes, sometimes in order to attain, to reach your potential, you could take the long way, or you could take the expressway. To discover HaKadosh Baruch Hu sometimes can take us years. Years. Navigating on rivers where we think we see him here and there, but we don't really want to have the whole picture. Or sometimes, as we mentioned last time, I think here, there's an expressway. Hashem puts you in a situation where you have no other chance, no other option but to see him, to find him, to look for him, because it's too difficult, it's too tough. How many people do we know who became connected with HaKadosh Baruch Hu through a disease, through the loss of a loved one, through an issue with fertility? Even the hostages. We were sharing last month that one of the hostages shared with us that he was not religious at all. And it's inside of the tunnel of that darkness that he found Hashem. They all came out with an emunah and bitachon that are out of this world, that we cannot comprehend because we were not there. We will go there, Bezrat Hashem. We will connect to that point. And remember that connecting to Hashem is connecting to yourself, because we are a part of Hashem inside of this body. So it's super important. Some people live their entire life without getting to know who they truly are. Some people are so busy building a business, building a career, that they forget who they truly are, building themselves. So to go back to Bishvat, we said it's a day where there are no fruits on the trees, no leaves, no visible sign of success. And yet this is when we celebrate the fact that there is sap going up the tree, meaning there is life. There's always hope, first of all. But not only this, it means that sometimes, like we define success as a realization. We are waiting, we have expectations of what success is. We consider, oh, this one, look at his house, like he's a successful businessman. Or look at this from the outside, it looks like success. The Torah is teaching us, don't wait only for the outside. Success is something that comes when nothing is yet visible. It's something that we build from the inside. It's something that we work on from the inside. And why do we taste the fruits on Tu Bishvat? You know why? Because that day, even when if nothing is alive yet, we eat fruits because the fruits represent the success, the realization of the potential. This is a tree that has reached its potential. It has given fruits. So you want to taste it because you want to remember and give you an objective. In the Torah, we learn that we should never leave our objective out of our sight. We should never think that, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm not reaching my objective. I'm leaving away my final objective, my potential, in order to eat my fruits now somehow. Like it, how do you say that? In order to have benefits now. Is it clear? Not really. Yes?
Yes.
Sorry for my English tonight. So it's very important to understand that even when the fruit is not yet visible, the process has already begun. And it's a personal construction. So eating the fruit on Tu Bishvat is tasting what you could achieve. You are able to go there. You too can reach your potential. And it requires to build yourself, to understand that the challenge that Hashem is bringing you is not a punishment. It's not for you to grow in another direction. No, you can go through that challenge and you can build yourself. Yes, you have the tools, and the SAP has already started to give you that energy in order for you to overcome that situation. And yes, sometimes the first years of marriage are challenging, and maybe even after. But it doesn't matter when you understand that this is part of your training. You're just being trained to become who you have the potential to become. And you want to taste the fruit because this gives you the strength to continue to grow. Because now you know that it's sweet. Now you know that you're going to make it. And now you know towards what you're working, towards what your efforts are made. And Rabbi Nachman Mibretzlev teaches, a person is not only where they are physically, they are also where their thoughts are. So when you have in front of you the fruits, and still from the outside everything looks desperate, you can train your mind to look at your final objective. The fruits are there. I'm going to grow and become that doctor. I'm going to grow and I'm going to become that woman who's going to inspire and help other women. I'm going to grow and become that mother. I'm going to grow and become that whatever it is that you have the potential to become. And by the way, you don't become what you do. You become who you have the potential, who you are. It's not only what you do. It's not because you're a doctor that you're only a doctor. Today at the Midrasha, our friend Sarah Benisti shared a very nice story with us. She said, like, there were in the times of the USSR, the Russian had taken into Siberia a few people, right? There was a doctor, there was an attorney, there was a rabbi, and there was an actor, exactly, right? And they are in a prison in Siberia, and they're desperate. And at one point, they'll crumble. And one cries on the fact that he once used to be a doctor, and the other one cries on the fact that once he was the best attorney and he was solving cases and this and that. The other one cries on the fact that he was the best and more famous actor in the entire Russia. And they are nothing today, right? How many mothers cry on the fact that I was a mother and now my kids are gone. They went to college, they got married, they lived in Israel, and now who am I? You're not just what you do. You're also who you truly are. And then they turn to the rabbi and they say, why don't you cry on who you were before coming to that Siberian prison? And he said, you are crying on something that you did, and you think that was who you are. But I am a Jew, and I'm still a Jew, and I'm still serving Hashem. And where Hashem put me is because I was supposed to be there. That was part of my program. And here I'm developing my potential, and I'm becoming the person I was supposed to become. I know that this situation is just a stake for me to grow in the right direction. We are not just what we do. We are a beautiful soul. And we have a mission. And this mission is different and unique. But we all have that in common, that we have that responsibility as Jews to bring light into this world. We have been chosen by Akadosh Baruch Hu for a beautiful mission, right? So by being who we truly are, we are realizing that potential. And when we think about it, when we have that vision in mind, we actually become that mission. That's what Rabbi Nachman is teaching. We are where our thoughts are. So if you think, that's why we eat those fruits. Because if you're already in your potential, then you will reach it. That's where you're gonna be. Okay? So we all have moments of winter, periods where nothing seems to be happening, when growth feels slow and invisible. And to Bishvat comes and tells us, this does not mean nothing is happening. So we can ask ourselves, what seed is inside of me right now? What has been planted? What is potentially happening in me right now? Where might the sap already be rising? There's something already preparing in you.
Neshama.
Your neshama. But if you want to ask yourself, look at your own life. Don't share it with us now, but those are questions for yourself. There's something happening. And sometimes, in French, I'm going to say it for the French speakers here. In French, we say, je me suis planté. Je me suis planté, I planted myself.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean? It means I made a mistake. I failed. I failed. But you know what? Se planter, c'est le meilleur moyen de grandir. Failing is the best way to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So even where we failed, we should see, wow, if Hashem made me fail in this, it's because something is happening. There's a sap growing inside of me. Something is preparing. I'm getting prepared and trained for a new version of me. I'm going to give you a personal example. I arrived here in Miami with a mission to open a master franchise for my father's company, Voix and Chiffon, at that time. And in 2008, we had to close down the store, right? There was the very big,
very bad.
Subprime.
the subprime, the crisis of the subprime that touched a lot real estate and impacted the furniture business. So we had to close down. And it was very tough at that moment for my brother and I. We had met our spouses through that process of Bois and Chiffon, of opening that business. But I felt at that moment, I failed. My father gave us a mission. Our father gave us a mission. We're supposed to open a master franchise, several stores in Florida, and then grow, right? That was the plan. And Hashem made that crisis of the subprime happen. And we had to close down the store. And now we're just a failure. Look at this father who ran out in 1962 from Algeria, who built an empire, who entrusted us with a little mission, and we failed. We felt like nothing. And the truth is that in that moment, Hakadosh Baruch Hu was actually preparing something very special that I had never guessed I would do. He had me met with Rabbi Frankfurter in my store. A rabbi who would come, give me the sidra. Shabbat Shalom, it was very nice to see you. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Frankfurter. After 1 week of being unemployed and feeling like a failure, Rabbi Frankfurter sends me a message. I'm opening a class of Tanya every Tuesday morning. Would you be interested in coming? I said, I'd be more than interested. I have nothing to do, right? So I started going to his classes, and he mentioned like, okay, if you have more time, can you help me with accounting? with marketing, with this, with that, and slowly, slowly, the sap was growing up the tree. And after 17 years of working with Rabbi Frankfurter at the French Rabbin, I opened Les Halot. The failure of Buen Chiffon was actually what allowed that seed to break and for that shoot to appear and to be born. Without that failure, I'll be a multi-business woman, right? I would never be here speaking and sharing the Torah with you. Hashem had another plan. Hashem put a potential seed in me to come and share his Torah with him, with his daughters, right? To be a vehicle. And I had, in order to be that vehicle that I am, I had to go through all the life. Being born in a non-religious family, realizing at 18 years old that the gerut of my mom was not kosher and having to convert, growing in Torah in a way that I would have never been able to had I not been needing to convert, because had I been born a Jew from birth, right, even though I didn't know any other religion, I would have probably been very comfortable in my traditionalist Judaism, because it was everything that I felt was so nice, you know, like couscous, meatballs, and the family gathering, and chaida, I don't know how we say it, like, but it was fun, it was nice, it was comfortable, right? I could have grown this way. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu told me, wait, you have a potential, my dear, I have a plan for you. You think you're a Jew? Wait. Not totally. You are a Zera Israel. You are a seed of Israel, because my father is a Jew. My mom converted, but still. So what are you going to do? You feel so Jewish inside. What do you want? You want to connect with me in a different way? You can. Just go to the Beit Din. And so I went to the Beit Din, and I learned things that I had never, ever heard about. I thought I knew what Shabbat was, but this was not Shabbat. I thought I knew who I was, but I didn't know who I was. I thought I knew what the Chagim were, and I had no idea. I thought when I converted finally that I was an achieved Jewish woman. And 28 years after, I can tell you, I was not at the stage I am. And I know that I'm going to grow. I'm in a growing process, just like a tree never stops growing. And today, I'm not as connected as tomorrow. And it's beautiful. And I appreciate that. And I know that I have many other things on my way expecting me. I know Hashem has a plan for me to develop, to give more fruits in this world. And this is beautiful. So what was a difficulty, what was a failure, actually was just a crack in the seed and allowed a new shoot to appear, a new branch to grow. And this is like that for all of us. If anything is painful, ask yourself, why is it painful? Maybe because you're giving birth to a part of yourself that you didn't know of. Because sometimes, did I share with you that story? My best friend in Paris, who is an obstetrician. I don't remember if I shared it here. Yes, I did. I'm just going to share it for the rest of the girls who didn't. I don't know why we come back to that point, but one of my best friends in Paris is a OBGYN. And she was working at Bishvat. Her residency in OBGYN was in a public hospital in Paris. And one day she has a girl coming to the ER thinking she was dying. She was in so much pain. She couldn't hold it. She was really like, she really thought she was dying, and she arrived and they were very scared for her. And then they realized she was in labor. She was a very young girl. So my friend was called to help that girl give birth. And she had to explain to that girl, you are not dying. This pain that you're experiencing is actually the pain of labor. You are going to feel pain, but you know what's happening after? You're going to have a baby. You are going to be a mommy. Really? Yes. How did it happen? Well, are you married? Yeah. I was married a few months ago to a man who has many other wives. She was from Mali, a part of Africa, and they allow to have many different wives. And did you have a relationship with him? Yeah. She said, well, from that relationship, you're now having a baby. He planted a seed in you. The baby and the potential grew, and now you're giving birth. What a relief! That pain, that suffering is actually a normal feeling when you give birth to a new life, a new potential. And that's exactly what we feel every time we are in pain. Ask yourself, what is the potential that I'm about to give birth to? Because that's exactly what's happening. There's no suffering for nothing. Every time we go through pain, we don't need to escape from it. Sometimes the only way out is through. We have to go through. And going through it, we actually discover something beautiful. Courage. Patience. Resilience. And so many other beautiful things that Hashem planted in us for us to accomplish that beautiful potential. Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev says that the day we were born is the day when Hashem decided that this world cannot exist without you. But it's not you as you are now. It's not me as I am now. It's not us as we are now. It's the potential you. This world cannot exist without us realizing our potential. So it's time to become and not just to be. It's time to realize what's happening in us. It's not just suffering, it's not just difficult, it's not just an emotion. Welcome this emotion. Appreciate it because it's here for you to become that beautiful fruit. So when you're going to Sunday night, sit at the table at this family table with all those fruits in front of you and all your fruits around you if you have a family. Appreciate this potential and look at yourself in the mirror and appreciate the beauty that Hashem planted in you. Laila Tov.